I can call you Floyd because I got it. It's insane. I got a Pink Floyd teacher.
Yeah, that's great.
That's right. But I will let you with John.
Okay.
Excelente. John, gracias por esta maravillosa oportunidad increíble que nos pueda brindar este honor. Le agradezco a Charlie también por la gestión. Sabe que me interesó mucho del filme es que, aparte de los créditos, que obviamente me identifico yo cuando me creé mi primera película, que los créditos siempre estuvieron presentes, pero me gustó mucho sobre el mundo de los ventrílopos. Así se dice. Sí, exacto. Porque ese mundo no se representa actualmente y creo que este es el filme que rompe todas las barreras y me gustaría preguntarle, ¿será que hay un universo de Johnny en el futuro?
That's a great question from John because we both watched this movie and it's, I know his channel, but we are going to discuss. But the question from him is first, when he saw the credits, he remembers and he remembers the time that he did his first movie, that feeling of wow, finally achieved. But the first question comes because yes, we know that there is some kind of ventriloquist movies, but this, and I agree, this breaks with everything we had seen for this subgenre, if we can call it. And the question is, and I hope the answer is yes, there is like a multiverse from Johnny. I don't know. He habits in this kind of multiverse of movies from ventriloquists and evil dolls, or will be some kind of multiverse from Johnny. By the way, man, I freaking love the movie.
Yeah, thank you.
Freaking love it. And I hope that the questions that John got, I can agree, I can add more questions because, but go ahead.
Thank you so much. Well, firstly, thank you for watching my film, and I'm so glad that you liked my film so much. That is the purpose of us filmmakers, to when we make when we make a film, that we can reach to the audience and they can identify with the film. So to answer your question, well, Johnny is very special because if you look at the past, I guess I wouldn't compare it, but I would get close to, and it's not a ventriloquist puppet, but it's more a doll, which is Chucky from the first Chucky. I think it was in the 80s. But so if you look at the history of these puppets and ventriloquist dolls, they're usually possessed, or they are they have a life of their own. But in my film, Johnny, he is not possessed. He's not evil. He is actually, he doesn't even have a life. It's all, he's being controlled by Floyd's mind. So my film is very unique because you don't see that. And when I saw this other film recently called The Boy, I was a little bit nervous because without seeing it, I thought that it was going to be similar to my film, but it wasn't. That the boy has a doll in that film, and the doll, even though the doll wasn't possessed, but it was more like it wasn't being controlled by the protagonist's mind. So that's what's very special about Johnny, my film, and the ventriloquist puppet. It's different.
Before I ask a favor to John Jatenjor, I was scared because when I saw the trailer, was say, "Oh my God, please no!" I hope it's not a dead silence puppet. No, man, you broke everything. And I will speak in Spanish because I will tell John two things. John, primero, muéstrale la carátula de tu ópera prima. No sé, I don't know if you can see it. This is the first the movie that John made, and so it's like a communication between yes, the opera's primas, first movies directors, and look at the chat. This is the interview that we made to Tom Holland. So it's great that you talk about Chucky, and then we see now like the yes, man. In fact, I can qualify this movie. I can put it on a genre, but I will. I hope that John made a question that made me say all the things that this movie provokes me in a great way. John, continúa. Ya le dije.
De hecho, yo, no sé, es una loca idea mía, yo que así como decimos acá en Colombia, tocayo, pero es que la manera en cómo Johnny se representa es turbia, pero a la vez yo pienso cómo será una película, al menos una película donde se junte en la mente maestra de Chucky, Billy el muñeco y Johnny. ¿Cómo sería esa historia? ¿Cómo daría tu aporte si de pronto, no sé, un Don Mancini, un Tom Holland, un S1 y usted representando a Johnny? ¿Cómo sería eso?
Okay, this is a crazy question. It's somehow Holland, Mancini, James Wan, and yourself decide to, I don't know, reunite your creations. Do you imagine like a story, or you prefer not to imagine that and leave Johnny alone by itself?
Oh, that's a great question. No, I have thought of making a second part for the film, but I'm not sure yet. But however, and I can tell you this, I have thought of this before, and definitely in that second part of Johnny, I want Johnny to become evil. Like you're saying, like a combination of Chucky and Johnny, but in this case, Johnny would be controlled, still be controlled by Floyd's mind, but he turns very evil. Like in the film that I made, he's actually not, the puppet's not evil, but if I made a second part, I would totally make him go nuts and start like attacking places and robbing people and stabbing. But this would be, again, coming from Floyd's mind. So that would be the perfect combination of like a Chucky and a Johnny.
And it's crazy because when I will say, because Jatenjor, when Jatenjor created the channel, he interviewed Harley Wallen. And it's crazy because the movie that John made is called Operación Agramont. And Harley Wallen did Agramont's Gate, and it was like, oh my God. Of course, they didn't know about each other movie, and they start thinking, wow, how will be to join the Agramont from John and the Agramont for Harley? So, what could it be? John, ¿tienes más preguntas? Dile, claro, dale.
Y
le estaba contando lo de Harley.
Claro,
obviamente.
Eso es interesante.
No. I won't translate answers, but I think John Jatenjor is understanding everything you say, man.
Yes, porque yo visualizo que lo que me encantó, obviamente todo me encantó, pero lo que más me encantó al final es la banda sonora. Pues madre, esa banda sonora me dejó, o sea, no sé, como una sensación rara, pero no de disgusto, sino como que, uy, no sé, como de crear, como de, no sé, porque sabemos de que, obviamente, en el personaje tuyo que realizas, eres la voz de Johnny, que Johnny tiene como un acento sádico, por así decirlo, pero a la vez, esa música como que le imparta a uno en el sentido de que cómo va con el compás, y a la vez cuando estás en el momento del interrogatorio, con Johnny, el personaje también tuyo, ¿cómo es para usted poder elaborar, bajo qué inspiración? Y no solo eso, sino ¿cómo usted desarrollaría de pronto más segunda parte, tercera parte o más producciones, pero referentes a este estilo de música? ¿Cómo es el proceso? Porque la verdad, mis respetos para esa banda sonora. Y quisiera saber el nombre, por favor, para de pronto yo tenerla en mi soundtrack, en mi celular o algo.
John is making a question. I think I know the answer, but I wanna make sure. You are the composer of the soundtrack?
Yes, I am. Yes,
John,
I composed the music, I wrote it, and I recorded it, and actually did the vocals for the song.
Todo en uno. All.
acá tengo, entendiste, no tuve que I had to translate. Man, and the question is, okay, now I understand more. Because yes, as myself, we feel so connected with the music, even in a kind of setting way, because yes, we know that is not like an easygoing soundtrack. I even compared it with the world de aquí de Yamaoka. It's more ambient, dark ambient. And
yeah.
The question from John is, I know that you will make more movies. You will work in the same way. I think so, because man, this of course this is a movie. This is more like an art house movie. I mean, it's more
Yes.
like a work. Tell us. I will be please listening. How's the process for you making the music?
Okay. So you're asking how would I make the process of the music for like a following film, like next
In
movie?
this film and on a following film.
Okay. So in this film, you know, I don't know if you know, but this actually happened to me when I was a kid. This really happened to me. I was a victim of abuse when I was a kid. And so that's how the movie was written. It's true events that I suffered when I was a kid. So when I wrote the song, it was, everything was coming from inside, from what I was feeling. I kind of regressed to the past, and I opened that door and came in there and just relived that moment. And as I did that, I wrote the song. So it's extremely personal. The song is like almost word by word of what I was feeling at the time. So that's how I did this song. And the composition and the music, well, it helps me a little bit that I have a degree in audio engineering, and I've been making music for like 20 years. So that's kind of helped me there a little bit as far as the engineering of the music. But the lyrics, they're like coming right from my heart. And how I would do a second, you never know. You just have to be in the moment, and you have to just be at the right time, and it'll just come. And of course, you have to be connected with the storyline to write a song, and you have to have all those things in place. But how I would do it is, if the story is something that I lived, then I would regress back to that moment, like I did on this one, and start writing. If it's not something I lived, I just have to be so deeply invested in the story that if I'm gonna make the music, I just have to almost put myself in the shoes of the character, and just start writing.
Man, that is great. But I hope, as an artist, of course, because I write, I got a boot, but I won't show it. I hope that you had made that catharsis, but I will tell it as a piece of art. It's beautiful, and in fact, John was telling me that he freaking loved the artwork from the movie that you got back there. I got the artwork from the movie from John, but I cannot move the PC because it will log off. And John, yo después te traduzco, pero continúa.
Tranquilo.
Porque
No,
lo que dijo fue,
¿tienes una pregunta antes? Hágala.
wow, okay, now is my time. John was asking me if I got a question. I don't know if questions, man, but yes, no, I got a question. How do you manage to, as a director, to get this amazing performance. I was reading, and man, they are non-actors. I
Right.
mean, by the way, Gary Quark, and I want to tell you something as a compliment. I was watching the movie, and I was feeling curious because yes, I see some glimpses from Lynch, but it's crazy because I was watching the scenes with Gary, and it feels like a Iñárritu movie. I mean, I was like, what? And even I saw something from the beginning from Cosmatos, but the thing that I love is, yes, I saw those glimpses, but I cannot compare with the work from there. I mean, you got your own language, but yes, I want to know how do you made you get this performance. Bruce was amazing in the end. It's crazy because Joseph Way Kingsbury looks something like myself. I was like, what? I look like, no man, how do you manage to get this performance?
Thank you so much for all the compliments. I really appreciate it, and I'm flattered that you like my film so much. This is the reason and the purpose for us, again, as filmmakers, to make work is to touch, the audience and to connect with the viewers. So this makes me very happy that you have enjoyed my film so much. Now, to answer your question, well, it's interesting. Yes, these were non-actors, and you have to have a lot of patience, and you have to be so organized and strict with your vision that you must not let anything slip by. For example, with Gary, I told him exactly what to do in every second of his acting. I told him how to move his head, move it to this angle, get this angry, slam your fists, do it at a certain angle, at a certain speed. So it's funny because it was almost like a puppet and a puppeteer, and he doesn't mind me saying that. Some actors don't like when a director says that, but in my case, there's a like a connection there with the film. So Gary was like a puppet in a way, that was enjoying the pulling of the strings of the puppeteer, which was his director, which was me, and he was totally enjoying it. And the way that this would work is if the actor, being a non-actor, understands that it's not really, it's the director's vision is what's pulling everything together. If they understand that, and if they follow with the directions of the director, at the end they're going to look like actors that have been doing this for a very long time. If Gary would have given me some sort of pushback or block, like, no, I don't want to do it like that, no, I don't think I should be doing it that mad, or no, I shouldn't be screaming that loud, then things would have changed a little bit. And so it's very interesting, because if you can find people that will just do what you tell them, because they trust your vision, it's going to have a really beautiful result in their performance. Now, if they are professional actors and they've been doing this for a very long time, the approach is a little bit different. It wouldn't be so meticulous and so strict. The approach would be completely different. Like, for example, instead of telling them how to move their head a certain way and just slam their fist at a certain time, then you would say something like, just slam the fists on the table as if you're extremely angry. That's all you would say, and then the performance will come. So in this case, again, they were non-actors, so I had to take the approach and just be very, it's almost like a bicycle with the little wheels in the back. You have to hold their hand so that the performance comes out believable.
Jatenjor.
De hecho, yo, tú que decías esta pregunta y yo que recuerdo de que, o sea, los personajes están muy bien estructurados. Además, como yo dije antes, se parece un poco a usted de la pizza.
Ya le
Eh,
dije, ya le dije.
y,
John is laughing because he was telling me yes that just Joshua will lose like myself, but yes, in fact, he's telling me that he feels
Josh.
that these characters are so well structured. He's telling
Oh,
me that.
thank you. Yes, yes, they, I put a lot of time into each character and thought very well what they would how they would be portrayed on the screen. So yes, it's very a character is extremely important in a film, of course. And if you have a great character, it's you almost have it's almost like you have a great film already, because the characters is what people identify and connect with. And if you have great characters, then people are just going to enjoy the ride more, because they're going to be following this character for throughout like 2 hours or something in the movie. So, um, and I'm glad you like Josh. It's a great character. Everybody likes Josh. And the poor guy got stabbed really bad, but it's a very psychological film. So you see Josh at the end again, and I just leave that for interpretation to the viewer. That's another thing, is that everybody says that the ending is a little bit strange, and it is, because I engineered it that way so that everybody could have an interpretation. It's almost like an open interpretation of the ending, which I would also like to ask you what you thought of the ending. What was your interpretation of the ending?
I will ask this to John because he's the man, but I will say my interpretation. John, pregunta para los dos. Quiero ir tu respuesta y yo la complemento.
a ver,
¿Cuál es la interpretación que tiene el final?
el final es que Johnny se desata, o sea, continúa. O sea, Johnny continúa en el sentido de que quiere dejar, no sé, como no víctima, sino quiere dejar como ese legado de encontrar esa persona como que le transmita todo. Además, yo le felicito porque yo siento que la voz, la estructuración del diseño de sonido, lo que buscaba John es que yo no he visto esa voz, ese efecto desde South, sino hasta ahora sería, no sé, fenomenal, pero yo creo que la interpretación de Johnny, o sea, del ventrílopo, es que aún hay como una saga.
Okay. John, and I will compliment. John said that yes, he feels that the ending is open in the fact that Johnny will continue searching for that cure, when we say like this answer that what happened. I will say why I feel. It reminds me, in fact, he wants to say also that he feels that voice effect seems so he hasn't feel that a movie had created that sensation with the voice of Johnny. And it's crazy because we got here in the channel to Bonnie Adams talking about Horse and On. And I feel that ending reminds me from a short film that I watched that is called Feeling True, in which I don't know if you saw it. It's a movie that one of the actors is deaf and I think is blind. In the fact that yes, I remember they both are sitting and waiting from that bus, but it was like, and I will agree with Jatenjor. It's like I feel that Johnny is in a crazy dimension because I remember all the scene from the phone ringing and he wasn't connected. I feel that yes, you are now like the body or the person that will continue this. I feel that. Yes.
Yes, you got it. You know,
Yes.
I'm very surprised you got the ending right, because a lot of people, most people don't get it right. Now, I did do the movie where the ending could be interpreted in different ways, but the way what you said is the way how I wrote it. So I'm very impressed that you got it right. A lot of people think that Floyd shoots himself as he walks out. A lot of people think that that he walks out and kills Josh. But and if it's okay if they interpret it that way, because that's what art is. You look at a painting, you have 10 people lined up looking at a painting, and everybody interprets the painting different. However, the painter of the painting had something in mind, regardless of how many people interpret that painting differently. And what you said is what I had in mind. So I'm very impressed that you got the ending right. Yes, he continues, and that guy in the end, if you notice, it looks exactly like Floyd as the way he's dressed. He's got the same tie and everything. It's because he morphed, he transformed into a different person in his head, to continue on in this thing that will never end for him. So I'm impressed.
I promise that I will translate everything. We do like a recording with only myself. I want to ask you now a favor, because yes, in fact, I made a short film that got like an open ending, and nobody, all the people that I asked, they don't understand it. So I hope you understand it. And of course, we will, if you want it, share the word from Jhon. And also, I'll know from Cesar. Cesar is one of the friends from the channel. He's not here. And okay, I will translate this for Jhon, for he feel happy. And no, it's crazy because the way, and this is like a sort of like a confession. I understand the ending because I had close, like, situations with this thing. Of course, this is like a witchcraft, but I had with people that use their bodies to embrace souls and things like that. I'm a I'm an agnostic, so I see that like okay, that's great. So and believe me, I had watched so many movies to with open endings to say yes, no, I really need to put my mind on that. I don't want easy endings. Jhon, dimos con el final. Dice que nadie ha dado con el final. Nosotros sí dimos, creo que te
¿Serio?
diste cuenta.
Wow.
I was telling Jhon that we guessed the ending.
Yes, you did.
Prometo traducirte todo, Jhon, no te preocupes.
No, por supuesto, claro. Yo, lo último, para finalizar, porque por mí yo haría 3 sesiones con Robert, porque pues lo que si yo te digo es, bueno, Johnny, ¿qué representa ahora, luego de la rueda de prensa? ¿Qué representa ya en su vida profesional? Y, por supuesto, ¿cómo era la mercancía de Johnny? Porque me imagino de que obviamente este cuadro debe que sacar cientos. Además, réplicas de muñeco Johnny, no sé, por favor, dinos.
Por cierto, accedió, ¿no? Dijo que podemos pasarle nuestros cortos, nuestros trabajos. Los veo. Okay, that's a crazy question, but a beautiful in fact. What is the light that you see on Johnny now that the movie's done? He got his own life, and this is crazy, but I think you will assume in a great way, and there will be some kind of merchandising from, I don't know, the art from the movie, like a Johnny doll. I know we got 10 minutes to end this. I don't know. I know it's a crazy question because yes, it's an art house cinema film, but I don't know, because man, this movie got all the potential to be a cult classic, and I hope now in festivals and then that people get more recognition from this movie. I don't see a lot of movies from the past year, but when I see this movie, I say, I feel great. Go ahead, the final question.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's very kind of you. That's an interesting question because I have, first of all, I want to tell you something. I actually have Johnny here in this place, but he's locked up over there in a closet. And I have a son. He's 5 years old, so he's very scared of Johnny. So uh, for you to know, Johnny, the puppet, ventriloquist puppet that was in the movie, is in here right now. It's
Wow.
just stored in his box. But if I get it, my son will just be completely, he'll start screaming because he's very scared of it. But if he wasn't here, and I didn't know that that you were so enthusiastic about the puppet, I would have brought him and showed you right here the puppet. So, but maybe next time. And to answer your question, I thought of making action figures of the puppet of Johnny, like smaller sizes, um, with the diff, like with glasses that you can remove, and a little perhaps a little knife or something, and action figures of Floyd too, because he's an interesting character. Um, and I think that would be really, really great for people that love this film so much, to be able to have the little action figure. And so I'm definitely thinking of that, and I have a way of doing it. I just I just have to wait a little bit more until I get a lot more requests for that. But there's a lot of really cool action figures that I could do, because if you remember the guy with the gas mask,
Mhm.
that would be another really cool action figure. Even Gary's a really great character, and Josh too. So that's definitely something that I've thought of. T-shirts and things like that. So all this merchandise would definitely be really helpful for the film. And there's a lot of really cool sayings or lines in the film that I could use in T-shirts and things like that. So that's something that I have thought of.
In fact, you can say to just that you find his lookalike in Colombia. No, I was searching in IMDb. In fact, in IMDb there is a phrase. Yes. No. Okay. 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 But let me ask you a question. What happens if you die tomorrow? How prepared is your family for that? Is the phrase that we can
Oh,
in
that
IMDb.
that is a very important line in the movie, because I don't know if you noticed, but Floyd, in his mind, he had a job uh, of selling life insurance. He thought he had a job. I hope I'm not spoiling this for people that haven't watched the movie, but he had a job that he was selling insurance for people. So he was practicing in the mirror as like a sales pitch for someone. He said, "What happens if you die tomorrow?" Like you're selling the life insurance to somebody. How prepared is your family for that? And so I don't know if you noticed, but that's in the end as well with Bruce. So that's a great line, and it goes with the film too, because um, I mean he's pretty much like dead but alive. It's very interesting. So that's a great line too. So I would put that on a shirt or something.
I don't know if you can give me the permission and just I don't know if I will make the cosplay from Josh in Halloween with the pizza and everything. Oh, you understand?
Y lo etiqueta.
Okay, yes, no, and I will tag him. Okay, we got 5 minutes, so please, the camera is yours, man. Give it your social media. Invite people to watch Johnny. Invite, or you can say, a next project. Go ahead. We got 4 minutes, so go ahead.
Okay. So thank you again for this interview. I really appreciate it. I am touched and I am blessed to be able to talk with both of you. Um, you can find my work. Well, first you can watch the movie in Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Voodoo, which is from Fandango. You could watch it, and I believe Comcast, some cable networks. You can watch it pretty much anywhere. But definitely, maybe the easiest way would just be Amazon Prime or Apple TV, even iTunes. You can find me on social media at Urban Tunnel Films in Instagram, and in Twitter, and you can find me as well. I think if you type John Charles Gerald, you can find me on Instagram as well, and everywhere else. Those two, it's that's how you can find me. Very easy. But definitely watch the film. You will love it. And I don't know if you noticed, guys, but there's a lot of hidden things in the film, like a numeric coding, like 555. I don't know if you noticed that number, but it's all over the movie. So I invite people to watch and just to pay really close attention to those details, because you will find details. If you watch the movie a second time or third time, you will discover new things, because I designed it that way. A lot of people don't see a lot of things in the first viewing, and when they watch it a second time, they discover new things. So I invite you all to watch my film.
Tell you something. It's like a sad thing. I invite. The problem is that they are in a reunion. In fact, they send me like emojis crying. I invite to this interview the creators from a horror film festival here in Colombia and Venezuela. We live in the border. I hope that maybe you can talk next with them, because in fact, the festival has grown out and they will start showing movies, not short films. I participated last year with a short film. So man, I hope this movie gets. It's great that it's in Amazon. This, but gets in the video screens, man. And I gotta say something cool before this end about the company. It's great that Midnight Releasing is improving with your work, of course, with Harley Wallen. Maybe we will have in the channel, this is a spoiler, we will have the director from Harvey, another movie. But, John, ¿qué vas a decir?
No,
¿Qué hace acá?
felicitarlo. Johnny.
John, te tengo una mala, triste noticia. El muñeco sí lo tiene, pero no lo puede sacar porque se asusta el hijo. Pero promete, no, le voy a decir que después pase. In fact, as a final, later you share us a picture with Johnny posing.
Sí. O envía un saludo también, o que me envíe un saludo y yo lo promociono mucho más.
And yes, you want it, we got a minute later, you can send a salute, a hi, with the doll promoting the movie. We will do everything we could to promote this movie, man. It's not a big channel, but it's a channel made with love for movies. And thank you for sharing your movie, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Bye.
Bye before this end.
Thank you.
Hey.
Ciao.
Chao.
Tuvimos la suerte de ver Johnny. Esta película no se puede, en palabras del director, no se puede incluir en, digamos, como una especie de multiverso de películas sobre muñecos de ventriloquismo. O sea, no la podemos comparar con Dead Silence, y obviamente yo le dije a él que tenía miedo que fuera una copia de Dead Silence. Afortunadamente no, es una obra maestra. Esta película se involucra más en el universo tal vez de los muñecos poseídos, pero pues sin hacer spoiler, la cuestión acá es que Johnny realmente no es maligno. Bueno, continuando con la segunda pregunta, que tal vez sí hiciera una locura de que continúe el universo y se una pues con todas estas figuras famosas, Chucky, que por cierto aquí con Tom Holland, dice que de hecho sí considera una secuela, donde aquí Johnny sí enloquece por completo y comienza a matar, pero hay que entender algo. Esta es una película de cinearte. En realidad, moviendo con la siguiente pregunta, es sobre la música. Se involucró tanto John Gerald, que aparte, bueno, de ser el editor, el protagonista, el que hace la voz de Johnny, que no sé cómo lo hizo. Es que, bueno, él es ingeniero de sonido, de hecho. Él compuso la música y él canta incluso la canción original, lo que parece increíble. Acá nos contó una historia pues muy valiente de que en realidad le pasó algo así de niño, él es víctima de abuso, y al ser víctima de abuso, pues él siempre canalizó esto, digamos que lo canalizó de todas las formas que quiso con la música, porque de hecho él antes de comenzar con Johnny fue músico, no, es increíble esta transición de músico a cineasta, y pues lo logró hacer con esta película como tal. Le tuve que preguntar cómo logró que actores naturales hicieran estos papelazos, y él dice algo muy gracioso, que incluso fue casi como que ser un Floyd el personaje, por cierto, como director, porque en realidad fue muy, dice que lo que él logró con ellos no lo hubiera podido lograr con actores experimentales, o sea, en realidad les digo, quiero que pongan las manos así, quiero que muevan la cabeza así, fue casi como un titiritero de ellos, eh, y que ellos entendieron muy bien el trabajo de que pues esta es la visión de él, y fueron muy respetuosos, o sea, todos los movimientos que ustedes los actores, él los dijo, y los siguieron a juntillas del guión. Es gracioso porque él tenía en toda la entrevista a Johnny, lo tenía en su caja, pero él no podía sacarlo porque pues él tiene un hijo y el hijo se asusta cada vez que lo sacan. Mm, Dice que de hecho sí está considerando sacar mercancías,
Wow.
camisetas con las frases de la película. De hecho, la frase que aparece en IMDb, sin hacer spoilers, es que pues, el personaje de Floyd en realidad es una persona que vende seguros de vida y al venderlos pues usa esas frases. Nos hizo acá como una especie de hint para los que vean la película y la repitan, hay un código numérico, entonces me la va a repetir, que tiene que ver con el número 5. Esto, bueno, aquí no podemos decirlo, pero nosotros nos logramos dar con el final. Entonces quiero que por favor nos pida a la gente que por favor interpreten esa escena final, eh, esa conversación final. No puedo decir más porque estaría revelando toda la trama. Eh, Dice que sí, de hecho está pensando que aquí vas a morir, si quiere hacer una figura de acción de Johnny con las gafitas y todo, pero
Wow.
también una figura de acción de Floyd e incluso una figura de acción de Josh, bueno, mi personaje favorito, mi doble en el cine.
Something's wrong with me.
I'm gonna have to let you go.
Somewhere deep inside my head, there is a non-repairable malfunction. I'm a defective product, living a nightmare that I can't wake up from.
Look at you. A slave to the system.
But why?
A slave to the system.
When? How did this happen?
You can hear us.
I can't take it anymore.
I'm gonna count to 3.